Whether you're firing up the grill for burgers, chicken, or pasta, the right wine can elevate the entire meal. Food and beverage expert and author Mandy Naglich joins us with easy wine pairings anyone can pick up for their next cookout. Good morning. Welcome back to Great Day.
It's great to be back. Thank you for having me.
All right. For those who are not familiar with you, you're a New York City food and beverage writer, the author of How to Taste. You are, and I can't believe this is a job, and why did I not know about this when I was, starting my career, a professional taster and beverage expert.
That's correct. It takes a lot of training actually to become a professional taster, but I think you still got time if you want to start working together.
All right. And you have a mission to taste everything. All right. Describe how that kicked off for you. I know when you were growing up, you were one of those picky eaters and a lot of things that you didn't want to taste necessarily.
Definitely. I think so much of what we experience in the world comes through our sense of taste and smell. And the more I started tasting new things and getting a little bit more adventurous, I realized there's a whole world to discover out there in taste. And especially today with AI and everyone looking at their screens, I think tasting things grounds you right in reality. You know, when you're sharing a table, when you're sharing a picnic or a bottle of wine, we're all together having that same experience. And that's what I absolutely love.
Yeah. So many of us are in that little comfort zone, though. And what we grew up eating is all that we're going to eat, and it's hard to get us out. So what do you say to people to challenge yourself to try new things?
I think doing it with friends is the best way to do it. You can kind of do it as a little bit of joke. You know, I always tell people you always get your no thank you sip. You can try something really quickly and then say, okay, we tried that together, we had that experience, and move on. Luckily, with a lot of our summer foods, those are already in people's comfort zones. And a lot of these wines I picked out today, I kind of call them grocery store wines. There's something, they're not going to be too challenging, but they do change with what you pair with.
Yeah, and by the way, there used to be a time where, wines were much harder to get, but there are so many countries producing grapes today that we have so much more variety and variety in price points too. And by the way, people like you will say, don't decide on a wine simply by a price point or by the pretty label.
Definitely not. We actually have one from Argentina today that super affordable, and they're these big reds that you could be getting from France. So yeah. Don't think of the wine region anymore. Totally, like you said, don't think of the price point. All of these are right around $20 today, and your guests are going to absolutely love them. So
all right,
two things, don't be snobby about price, be snobby about flavor.
And don't be snobby about whether it has a cork or screw top, right?
Absolutely not. Actually, one of the ones we have today from Gießen, if we want to go ahead and skip to our 0.0, it goes with everything. And it's New Zealand wines are going to really always have that screw top now. And actually at the BAFTAs this year, they were serving wines like Gießen and New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc with the screw top on the table. So, that's the height of luxury.
Yeah. All right. So explain this when you said zero.
So the thing about this Gießen 0.0, it's from New Zealand, and it is made with a spinning cones method. So basically what happens is they make the wine exactly like it would be, but they spin out all of the alcohol and leave all of those amazing aromas behind. So you're smelling this with me, you get like that lush mango, that kind of almost almond skin-like aroma. Yeah. That's totally going to be in their standard Sauvignon Blanc. All this one is just the alcohol is removed.
And it's literally alcohol-free?
Totally 0%, and about 80% of what we consider flavor actually comes from aroma. So when you're tasting it, you're not going to miss that alcohol at all. One of my favorite things to do is actually bring a bottle of the regular Gießen and a bottle of this. It's $15 at like your Specs or your HEB, and have people try them side by side. You're never going to tell the difference.
I would not have known. Okay, this is one you can drink at 9:19 in the morning and no one's going to question you. All right.
Exactly. You can have the whole bottle after this.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on over to is it Chris, the Pinot Grigio?
Yes, the Chris Pinot Grigio. So this is going to be your kind of, if you don't know what's going to be at the picnic, grab this and bring it with you because it goes with just about everything. So getting that little sniff going. Without food, I bet you're getting like a lot of lime, maybe some apricot to it.
Yeah, a little drier, right?
Yeah, and then when you get around something like maybe a grilled chicken, it kind of brings forward these honey notes that are really nicely there in the Chris. If you want to, it goes with, I see your salad right there.
Yeah,
a lot of great salads. It gets like fresher and brighter. Mm-hmm. And the great thing is, like I said, grocery store wine. Oh yeah, the grilled chicken. So do you get more of that honey coming forward now?
And I get what you mean by pairings. Because I think by pairing, sometimes people forget. They think it's always just one or the other. But when we pair it, it makes all the difference. This is really good.
And this wine is like can be a little bit of everything, the Crisp Pinot Grigio. It can like come forward and really balance out those grilled chickens. But if you're at the grocery store, if you're at your HEB or your Trader Joe's and you just grab a pre-made salad, it's going to go great with those really green flavors as well. It's nice and bright and refreshing. So that's kind of my, no matter what if you don't know what to expect or no matter what you're pairing with, go ahead and grab the crisp. Go ahead and grab a Pinot Grigio, especially in the summer. It tastes like sunshine.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you say nice and bright and refreshing, we're under a heat dome right now. This is the only way to escape it right here. All right, going on over to a red.
Yes, and this is exactly what you were leading in with. This is an Argentinian red, so it's only going to run you about $20. When you smell it on its own, you kind of get those red fruit flavors. I get like a little bit of like a minerally earthiness to it when you're just smelling it. But when we think of Argentina, there's two things to think about. High mountain climate, so cold at night, hot during the day, making all those balanced flavors, and Argentinian steakhouses. So this is like such a perfect pair for grilled steaks, anything beef forward. It really adds a nice balance to kind of gamey meats as well.
This is nice. Yeah, don't cry for me. This is really, really nice right here. All right, let's go through your book, because I started by saying when you go to the wine aisle, there's just so much there right now, and it's just no one knows really where to start. That's why these books, like the ones that you write, really help us with things. So go through the purpose of this guide and how we can follow through with it easily.
Yeah, the subtitle is Discovering Flavor and Savoring Life. And something I really wanted people to do was to start savoring those moments when we're all gathered around the table or around our picnic blanket. So the book actually takes you through kind of understanding how our senses work, the science of our senses, and then goes into different ways to experience taste. So whether it's traveling, whether there's a whole chapter on pairing, things like this, or we're thinking of bright flavors in your Pinot Grigios and darker flavors in your Cabernet Sauvignons from Argentina, really how you compare those things. And this, you took a little sip of our Luigi Bosca, yes?
Yes. Oh,
it has that long aftertaste. And one of my favorite little hacks in the book is when you're pairing foods, you're pairing more with the aftertaste than you are pairing with, the initial smell, because the wine's going in your mouth after the aftertaste of the food's going in your mouth after the aftertaste of the wine. And this one has that long aftertaste that I think you can think of, finishing on that earthy note and then pairing with a bite of steak right after. And it's a different way to think about tasting that a lot of my readers have come back to and been like, that was the hack to me. Yeah. Thinking of pairing with that aftertaste makes those kind of magical things come together.
Yeah. You're also have your advanced, I don't know how to pronounce this, Cicerone certification. You're a beer expert also?
Yes, beer is actually how I got into flavor generally, getting advanced Cicerone. I was one of the first 100 in the country. That's when I won the national homebrew competition. And that's what made me just discover the bouquet of flavor that could be in all these beers. And what's really amazing is once you learn about flavor one place, the thing that makes wines get a banana note is isoamyl acetate. And that's also in beer and it's also in cheese. And so once you start learning about flavor, it kind of unlocks the key to anything you ever want to taste. And that's where this book came from. I actually talked to 118 different food scientists and experts, a mustard sommelier, to really get the whole picture of what is how to taste.
Yeah, it makes food fun.
Yeah. It makes it fun and memorable. Taste is so tied to our memories. So these summer memories, when you're out on your picnic blanket, when you're grilling with your friends, everything you're tasting and smelling, it's like a super highway to your memory. And it connects your memory and your emotion. So, smiling over a toast with wine or, sharing a meal, those are the things that are really going to stick in our memories for long term. And that's, to me, what makes us human and makes life worth living.
All right. Well, I'm going to remember you. Cheers. Wait, which way do I go? This way right here. Okay, that right there. Opposite direction. Opposite. Yeah. Clink. And
there we go.
More. You need to go further. And clink.
There
we
go. Boom. A little morning toast.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To see today's wine pairings or to learn more about Mandy's book, How to Taste, visit greatdayhouston.com and we'll connect you.